Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I think all of you are very well and safe by the grace of the Almighty. Once again, it's Muhammad Salahuddin, lecturer, Department of English, Milestone College. Dear students, today I invite all of you to my today's lecture on punctuation and capitalization. Actually, it is one of the easiest topics of your English grammar, and you can get 5 words easily from this question. Dear learners, I will conduct my today's lecture through 3 continuous parts, and the first part will cover the discussion of some very important rules of punctuation and capitalization with explanation and example. And in the second part, we will discuss the question and how to answer it. And in the third part, we will solve a board question with explanation. Now, let's start with the first part, and that is the discussion of some very important rules of punctuation and some very important rules of capitalization. At first, let's start with the rules of punctuation marks. Dear students, now we are going to discuss some very important rules of punctuation marks and capitalization. Here you can see on the display some very important and common punctuation marks. Number 1, full stop, then question mark, then exclamation mark, then comma, hyphen, dash, semicolon, colon, apostrophe, and finally inverted comma. Now let's move to the rules. At first, full stop. The punctuation full stop comes after assertive sentence, imperative sentence, and operative sentence. For example, I'm feeling nostalgic. Here, I'm feeling nostalgic. This sentence is an assertive sentence. That's why full stop comes at the end of the sentence. Then, after abbreviation. Abbreviation means short word. The letter that indicates a word, that represents a word, and every such letter must have a full stop. For example, BBC, SSC. Then comma. Number 1, among 3 or more similar things there must be comma. You can see in the example we saw deer, snakes, bears, etc. Then with addressing name or title, comma is must. For example, guide, what's that? Here guide is an addressing title, so comma comes just after it. Then question mark, you know, after every interrogative sentence there must be a question mark, and sometimes question mark comes at the end of a word that represents a question. Then exclamation mark, you know, the exclamation mark comes after every exclamatory sentence and interjection word like wow, hurrah, and so on. Then apostrophe. Apostrophe comes with noun possessive. For example, Nazrul's poems. Then for contraction. Contraction means short form of a word or 2 words. For example, I am. The contraction form is of I am is am. It is, it's. Do not, don't. In, each of this example, there you see an apostrophe comma. Then inverted comma. In direct speech, we use inverted comma. Sometimes it is used to quote the word also. For example, Walid, the city. These two words are quoted with two commas. And Salman said, something strange is going. Here we see direct speech uses inverted comma. I think all of you have got very well the rules of punctuation marks. Now let's move to the rules of capitalization. Then let's move to the rules of capitalization. Now we see here some very important rules of capitalization. The first letter of a sentence is obviously a capital letter. For example, dirty clothes invite jam. Here dirty, this is the first word, and D is the very first letter of the sentence. That's why it is capitalized. Then proper noun. Every proper noun, the first letter of every proper noun must be capitalized. Then I means me. When I means me, it always must be capitalized. For example, every day I learn something new. Abbreviated letters. The letter, the single letter which indicates a word is always capitalized. For example, BA, MA. Then in the quotation, we see in the quotation or direct speech, the first letter after inverted comma must be capitalized. We can see know thyself. Here K is capital letters. Then every festival, the name of festival, the first letter of the name of the festival must be capitalized. For example, Eid al-Fitr, Durga Puja. Here Eid, E is capital word letter, and Durga, D is capital letter. Dear learners, I think you all have got very well the rules of punctuation and capitalization. Now let's move to the second part of our lecture, and that is about the question and how to answer it. Dear students, in your SSC examination, you will have to answer this question as question number 11, and you will have 5 marks for this question. And the question of punctuation appears in the form of a passage in the examination, and there are some places in the passage that contains some mistakes regarding punctuation and capitalization. You will have to fix those places and correct them. Dear learners, then you have to rewrite the whole passage and underline the corrected places. Now let's move to the third part of our lecture, and that is the practice of board question. Now let's solve a board question. Dear learners, you can see on the screen we have taken Rajshari Board 2017 question for practice, Here you can see the first letter T is not correct here, because we all know that the first letter of the sentence should be capitalized. So this T should be capitalized. The teacher said to me, don't you? Like we can see here, it's a direct speech. Don't you like to practice English? It's a direct speech. That's why we should use a comma after me, then inverted comma before the direct speech, and that D of the word don't must be capitalized because it is the first letter after inverted comma. Then don't you like to practice English? This is an interrogative sentence, so question mark must be placed after the sentence, and especially after the word English. And here is another mistake. English, the very first letter of English is not capitalized here. We all know that English is a language name, and every language name should be capitalized. Then the word it's an important subject, and you should be careful about it. Then there is another mistake at the end of the sentence of the direct speech, and that is here is inverted comma is missing, so we should correct it with an inverted comma. Dear learners, I think you all have understood very well, and you can see the answer here also. Thank you very much. Dear students, that's what I have today, and for further understanding, I suggest all of you to get help from your class teacher. Your class teacher can help you much in this regard. So, no more today. Thank you very much for joining the class. See you in the next class, inshallah. Till then, Allah Hafiz.